Good morning, welcome back to the vlog. I got some stuff in the mail. First being this. I know what this is because it says it on the front. This is from my lovely friends all the way back in London, Kit Blake. Every drop they do essentially, autumn, winter, spring, summer, autumn, winter, spring, summer, they send me one pair of trousers from that drop, and that's exactly what these are. Do ship with a trouser hanger, which I never actually use. Now, Kit Blake trousers do come unhemmed, so I will need to bring these to the tailor to be altered. How beautiful are these? These are a chocolate brown cotton trouser. Side tabs, I'll get a nice cuff put on them, but absolutely beautiful. When I show these to Corinne, she's gonna say they're greeny brown. 10 euro bets. Darling, come tell me what color brown these are. Grubs them as they're a chocolate brown.
Maybe they have a little green.
Told you.
Just like barely.
Told you. You all owe me 10 euros. We have this. This.
What is this? Ripping open packages.
This is a new suit from Indochino. When I went and got this suit, I got it both as a 3-piece, but then got an additional jacket. So when I don't want to wear the 3-piece, essentially I've got multiple looks from the same suit. So I got the jacket in a 6x2 double-breasted with a peak lapel, and then I got the jacket in a 2-button notch lapel, then a waistcoat, and then the trousers, which means I can wear it as a 3-piece, I can wear it as a 2-piece with a single-breasted jacket, and I can wear it as a 2-piece with a double-breasted jacket. Beautiful brown Prince of Wales plaid check, and it is beautiful, but now we have to try it on. So as you saw on the box for that unboxing, the suit is from Indochino. This is my second Indochino suit. This is not sponsored by Indochino by any way, shape or form. I paid my own money for the previous suit and this one with the additional jacket. Not a collaboration in any way, shape or form. So my opinions on Indochino are completely independent as a purchasing customer. Indochino gets its suits cut in China, and not that that's a bad thing. Our televisions, our phones, our cameras, most of the things that we use in our day-to-day are in fact made in China. Something being made in China does not inherently make it a bad product. You can get good things made out of China the same way you can get bad things made out of China. You can get good things made in the USA, you can get bad things made in the USA. What having it made in China does affect is the cost, because it's just far cheaper to produce out in China, and that's what they do. The fabric I went for is from Alfred Moon, which is a British mill. It is a plaid or a Prince of Wales check. Prince of Wales check comes in a few different colours. It is mostly seen in this kind of traditional brown, or in its very traditional kind of salt and pepper black and white. I opted for a 3-piece with a notch lapel and a standard slanted flap pocket, and then I also got an additional double-breasted jacket, so I could wear it as a 3-piece. I could wear it as a 2-piece with just a 2-button jacket, and a 2-piece with a double-breasted jacket. And even right now I'm wearing the double-breasted jacket over the waistcoat, so if I did want an extra layer of warmth, if it's closed you can't even see that I'm wearing a waistcoat under it. So it's become an extremely versatile piece just by adding an extra jacket. So what is the process of Indochino like? Well, the second suit was inherently way easier than the first. So the first one, you go in, you need to book an appointment because it's a made-to-measure service. You go in for your appointment, you get measured up for what you want, in this case like trousers, jacket, waistcoat. For ladies, I think they can do like a dress coat, it's slightly longer. They also do like trousers, and then they also do a skirt. So once you have all your measurements done and you choose your fabric, you can then go ahead and start customizing your suit. So you get your typical 1 button, 2 button, the double breasted. I think you can go a 2x1 or a 6x1 or a 6x2. I went for the 6x2. The breast pocket you can have, I think, patch or welted. I always go for a welted breast pocket. I never ever change it. The normal pocket styles, you can go for a slanted flap, a standard flap, jetted, which is essentially what this would look like if the flap was just gone. You get like this jetted line across there, jetted being the most formal style. You normally see it on a tuxedo, so not so much on a tweed jacket. And then you have patch, which is quite literally a patch pocket. Flat pockets being the very typical standard, jetted pockets being the most formal, patch pockets being the most casual. You can also choose your lapel type. So this is a notch lapel, like I mean quite literally has a notch nicked out of it, and then this one is a peak lapel as it peaks. Or if you're going for a tuxedo, you can also have a shawl collar, so that would just be like when it's one singular piece all the way around. And as I mentioned, the word tuxedo, a shawl collar is pretty much predominantly and only ever seen on dinner jackets. Then next up you have your vent, which is on the back. You can do a single, or in this case we went for double. Double is pretty much the standard that you see nowadays, but on my double breasted jackets what I've started to do is actually go ventless. Very traditional ventless. I generally like how a ventless silhouette looks on me personally. When it comes to the trousers, I've not really pushed the limitations on Indochino's trouser making in terms of how wide they come. The next pair of trousers that I get from them, I'll really try push them to be as wide as they can possibly go, just to see what they can actually do. If you're interested in pleats, they only offer a single pleat or no pleats at all. The cuff on the hem, you get a standard kind of 1.5 inches, almost the 2 inches. Me personally, I like the 2 inches. Indochino's is slightly smaller, but not so small that it's useless and not so small that it's not noticeable. You do get the option for side tabs or belt loops. I obviously always opt for side tabs. The buttons on the sleeve, you get the option to have them functioning or non-functioning. 99.9% of people are never even going to open the buttons on a suit. Some people do it for show, just to show that it's like a custom made jacket, because you don't really see it on ready to wear. Me personally, I don't really care about that. I don't need to show people whether my suits are custom made or not. Generally, if I'm a little bit unsure of a brand, or if I'm a little bit unsure of the fit, I'll go with non-functioning buttonholes, because it's much easier to alter the sleeve. When these are non-functioning, they can alter it from just the sleeve depending on how much of an alteration is. In an ideal world, they would take it from the shoulder, but that's not always possible. And speaking of the shoulder, you can do a standard, you can do a rope, and I think you can do like a completely deconstructed. This is their standard shoulder. So you can see like it's got a little bit of padding in there, but nothing really dramatic. And then this double-breasted jacket has the rope on it, so even the rope is just ever so very subtle. It just gives a little bit more structure to the shoulder, but not so much that it's like in your face or very prominent. It's quite subtle. And then beyond that, then you can choose your actual button type, so you get to choose the color of your buttons and all that sort of stuff. Then the color of your lining. Generally, I'm not too precious about the linings. I generally just go for something that'll complement the actual cloth on the outside. And then you get to monogram it. This one in particular, I didn't bother monogramming. I've kind of run out of like witty things to put inside of jackets at this point. I have Negroni, yes please, I have my initials, I have my name, I have my company's name, I have the date me and Corinne met. Like, I've got all the things. inside all the jackets, and I'm kind of just run out of things to do now, so generally I just stop doing it, to be honest. But it's a fun little thing that if you have the inkling or you have something witty to say, by all means put a monogram on. You can if you want. There's no rules. Do what you want. My fly is open. Would I recommend Indochino for someone's like first ever made to measure suit? Honestly, yes. I think the price point is very, very good. The price point is going to fluctuate ever so slightly depending on the cloth. This would have been one of their more expensive cloths, as it comes from like a pretty well-known British mill. But some of their more kind of run-of-the-mill, no pun intended, cloths, and like what the industry would call house cloths, will be a little bit on the more affordable end, and then they'll have some like premium and luxury cloths from some Italian mills and stuff like that. That'll be more on the pricey end of things. 3-piece and the additional jacket I think cost about $1,200, give or take, which is not bad considering the cloth that it is, and it's 4 garments, and like 2 of them being the more expensive end of the garments being the jackets. But I mean, it's not in the thousands of dollars for a jacket, and it's not in the hundreds of dollars for the trousers, so it is very affordable, and the fit is honestly quite good considering they are a little bit limited. When you've had made to measure suits from other companies that are essentially limitless, it's as close to bespoke as you can possibly get. You do feel some limitations when it comes to Indochino. For example, how high you can have the rise of the trousers, or how wide you can have the trousers, or you can't really change the button stance where the actual jacket would close, where that first button actually is. You can't change the gorge on the lapel. That would be where the peak or the notch actually is. You can't do other customizations like patch elbows or an action back. So an action back would be like a belt and some pleats to give a little bit more movement. For example, an action back would have looked absolutely amazing on this cloth, as this sort of cloth would have been used to go out on game hunts in the Scottish Highlands and stuff like that. So an action back where you would have been holding a rifle in order to shoot pheasants or whatever else. So it would have really lent to the style of cloth if those limitations weren't there. But for the average person that's just going in for like a wedding suit or just a business suit or just a suit in general, that doesn't need all of those things or is even unaware of all of those things, it's honestly a really good product for its price point. Corinne has got a pair of trousers off them, and the first one she wasn't happy with. They just simply remade her a second pair. We're going to go to Indochino tomorrow because she really likes this fabric, and she's going to get shorts and a skirt made out of them so she can coordinate with my outfits, because it's just something she loves to do. And as I mentioned, when you go to get a second suit, or you know, an additional pair of trousers or just a sports coat after the fact, because they already have your measurements on file, and from your first suit, if you needed any alterations, they adjust your file to accommodate for those alterations. So essentially the second suit you get just kind of fits perfectly. These items that I got now fit absolutely perfect because I got slight alterations on the first suit that I ever got, which also means the shopping experience becomes way easier. So if you don't have the time to go into the shop, or you don't want to make an appointment, you can just browse the fabric on their website, and you can just sign in on the website. They have all your information on their back office, so you just pick your fabric, add it to the cart, put all your details in, and then in 2 to 3 weeks or whatever, it'll arrive at your door, and it should fit you absolutely perfect because they already have all your measurements from your prior purchase. And speaking about that delivery service, they normally say like 3 to 4 weeks. This suit and an additional jacket came in a little over 2 weeks. I was absolutely shocked when I got a text message to say that my suit was on the way. And even then, I still wasn't expecting it to arrive till like next week. We go to Colorado next week, so I was thinking it's probably not going to arrive before then. I'll probably get it when I come back. From the initial appointment of me just like popping in store, asking them if they had like 5 minutes for me to purchase something, because I didn't need to be measured and I pretty much know exactly what I want, so it's a very, very quick process when it's someone like me. So from that initial like me popping into the store and saying this is what I want, to it arriving at the door being a little over 2 weeks is an absolutely insane turnaround. Okay, so that concludes our improv Indochino review. Let me know if you prefer the 3-piece with the single-breasted jacket or if you prefer a double-breasted jacket. If you're in the market for a made-to-measure suit at a really good price, I would genuinely recommend Indochino. As I said, this is not paid. They don't even know that I'm making this video. This video actually wasn't even supposed to be about the suits or Indochino at all until the suits came, and then I decided why not actually just review them. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll vlog some bits inside the Indochino store from Corinne copying my fabric choices. It tickles her brain when she coordinates our outfits. So, you know, happy wife, happy life, or whatever that saying is. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.